All right, let's jump right in. Today we're going to tackle a massive idea, a theory that tries to make sense of the entire sweep of human history. It all starts with one single powerful question. Think about it. Is the rise and fall of empires, of entire civilizations, just random? Is it all just chaos? Or, just maybe, is there some kind of hidden pattern, an underlying rhythm that's been playing out all along?
Well, according to this theory, history isn't a straight line at all, and it's definitely not a random mess. It's a wheel, a social cycle that turns and turns and turns, moving through four very distinct ages, each one ruled by a completely different type of person, a different mentality.
So here they are, the 4 ages of the cycle. We kick things off with the laborers, then power shifts to the warriors, from there it goes to the intellectuals, and finally, the capitalists. Let's break it down, starting right at the very beginning.
All right, so Section 1, the foundational age. This is the age of the laborers, or the Shudra age. This is ground zero for society, the bedrock where it all begins.
So, what exactly is the Shudra mentality? Well, the source material says it's a mindset that's completely driven by the physical world. We're not talking about big ideas or philosophy here. This is purely about the day-to-day, gut-level struggle to just survive.
And what does that world look like? Well, there's basically no real structure. Society is just a bunch of people all out for themselves. Your only focus is right here, right now. You're not planning for next year. You're just trying to get through today. Even your beliefs are all about survival. You fear nature, so you worship it, hoping it won't kill you. The guiding rule, survival of the fittest, period.
So you have to ask, how do you get out of that? If everyone is just fighting for themselves in total chaos, how does humanity ever build the first real society? How do you create order from that?
And that brings us to the next phase, the rise of order. We're talking about the age of warriors, the Kshatriya age. This is where physical force enters the picture and starts to hammer things into shape.
You see, the warrior mentality is the polar opposite of the laborers. The laborer is controlled by the physical world, but the warrior seeks to control it. The source puts it perfectly. The laborer sees a mountain and worships it out of fear. The warrior sees that same mountain and says, I'm going to conquer it. It's a mindset built on courage, on struggle, and on the sheer will to dominate.
And what do they build? Well, they use that physical might to establish the very first governments, the first real social structures. Suddenly things like prestige, honor, and tradition matter. A lot. Power is all about physical strength, and the law of the land is brutally simple. Might makes right. The focus isn't just on surviving the present anymore, it's about honoring the past too.
But here's the thing, physical power can only take you so far. A new tool of control starts to emerge, one that's way more subtle and maybe even more powerful. We're moving from the age of the sword to the age of the word.
And that leads us straight into our third era, the reign of intellect. This is the age of the intellectuals, the Vipra Age. And this is a game changer. Power is about to shift from brawn to brains.
So who are the Vipra? They're the thinkers, the strategists. They control society not with swords but with ideas, with ideology. The source material has this fantastic line. It says the warrior's path is direct, but the intellectual's is crooked from beginning to end. They don't have to fight themselves. They just manipulate the warriors into doing it for them.
So in this age, everything changes. Power isn't about who's the strongest anymore. It's about who's the smartest. This is when you get these incredibly complex laws, deep philosophies, and intricate religious systems. And get this, the theory claims that the kings, the warriors in charge, they were often just puppets. The real power, the real rulers, were their brainy ministers running things from the shadows, and what the book calls a ministerarchy. Wild, right?
And the motto for this entire era could be this ancient maxim, Buddhiyasya balam tasya. Basically, where there is intellect, there is might. It's the complete opposite of the warrior's might makes right. Now, real power, that comes from the mind.
So there you have it. The intellectuals are in charge, controlling society with the sheer power of their minds. It seems like the ultimate form of control.
But what if there's a power even greater than intellect? What happens when the mind itself has a price tag?
And that question brings us to the fourth and final stage of the cycle, the ascendancy of capital. This is the age of the capitalists, or the Vaeshya Age, where money becomes king.
The Vaeshya mentality is all about one thing: accumulating wealth. It's not just about being rich, it's about using that wealth to control everything else. Think about it. They can pay the laborer for their work, they can hire the warrior's muscle as an army or police force, and they can fund the intellectual's research or buy their ideas. Suddenly, everything and everyone can be bought and sold.
The source uses this really powerful image to describe this age. It says, the goddess of knowledge became the slave of the goddess of wealth. And you can see what it means, right? The intellectuals who used to be in charge are now working for the capitalists. Their brilliant ideas, their creativity, it all becomes a tool for making someone else money.
Okay, so now we get to the really dramatic part, revolution and the turning wheel. Because a system built on this kind of massive exploitation, well, it can't last forever. Something's got to give.
According to the theory, when the economic pressure gets to be too much, when the exploitation hits its absolute peak, something incredible happens. All the other classes, the laborers, the warriors, even the intellectuals, they finally unite. They've all been crushed by the capitalists, and with nothing left to lose, they rise up in what the source calls a Shudra revolution. And it is violent. It smashes the whole system to pieces.
But here is the absolute key, the twist in the whole story. This revolution doesn't create some new, better society. It's not a step forward. It's a reset button, a hard reset. All that chaos just throws society right back to square one, back to the disorganized, survival-focused age of the laborer. And just like that, the wheel starts to turn all over again.
So why does this happen? Why does the wheel keep turning? The book leaves us with this beautiful and kind of haunting quote. A person of honor will try to shine above all others, or will fall in a storm. It is not the nature of petals to live beneath others. Maybe that's the engine driving this whole thing, that deep human need to not live beneath others, the drive for dignity. Whether it's through strength, or smarts, or money, we're always trying to rise. And maybe that's what powers the cycle, forever and ever. Which, of course, leaves us with the big question, where do you think we are on the wheel right now?